Hello and welcome to Front Row Racing's World Series Round 19, Season 6, Part 2. We're on for a bit of a safety car restart here with a few issues at the start of that race. So we're going for a qualifying session that will be for the drivers to get their setup on and then retire from the session, and then we'll be on for a safety car restart. Now, for most of the drivers, they've been through this process before, but there is a couple of the reserve drivers who haven't, so it has taken a little bit of time to get up and running again. The drivers have been informed of what order they need to be in, and hopefully they can get into that order quite nice and quickly. And Hulkenberg has joined me again in the commentary box, and what we'll be doing is a new system that we've introduced this season, which is when the green light goes, the drivers obviously pull away from the grid, and they've got to get themselves into their grid order. Now, if that takes 2 laps, it takes 2 laps. But what we will do, obviously I'll check the grid order. Once they're all in the correct order, I can give the green light to Hulkenberg to retire from the session. And when he's done that, that lets the drivers know, okay, you're going to be good to go on this lap, but they can't overtake until they get to the safety car line, which is next to the pit entry here at Abu Dhabi. Now, I know a few people have struggled with that earlier in the season, but hopefully we're not going to have too many issues here today. I will quickly run through the grid order while the drivers get their setups on. Pole position, K-Slate, second place from a Racing GP, Rickster in third, Hybrid Nuke in fourth, RDB in fifth, and someone's gone out on track. Acorn 95 in 6th, Dave the Harp in 7th, Drew in 8th, Andy Russell in 9th, Millstar 10th, Adam 4600 in 11th, Charlie in 12th, and then we've got Hindle and Richie Davey 13th and 14th. Let's just have a quick look at who has gone out on the track. It's Drew.
Drew was
and
retired.
The last.
He's retired though.
Okay. It's a time saver, that one. I mean, we could have quite easily put it to the race only with the drivers part firme off and the drivers loading their setup. If there's any issues in doing that, then drivers are not going to be overly pleased. Okay. Now, with the session looking like it was going to be a dry race, the session has been set to a dry race, so there won't be any nasty weather for the drivers here today. But we'll see how they get on under getting into safety car conditions. We'll also go back through Millstar's question that he asked us at some point throughout the race, and the question of the day. We will touch on those if we get a chance to a little later on. The order we have on the screen is an irrelevant one, but for a few of the drivers, they've got a few places to try and make up or drop down the order. Now, one of the things that we've sort of said all season is that if incidents happen under the safety car situation, that's something that would be dealt with after the event. If a driver ends up with damage and has to go to the pits, if we have the opportunity to, say, continue on for a second lap and give them a bit of a chance of catching back up again, we may do that. But for example, if it happens after Hulkenberg's retired, there's not a lot we can do to stop it. So, James, how difficult are these safety car restarts to deal with?
Well, for me, it's not too bad. It's more the drivers just making sure that they get everything up to temperature without taking each other out. And it's these cars, they're brilliant at high speed. They are clumsy at very slow speed, which is what they're going to be doing.
Yeah. I mean, what is it you would look for from the guy who's in the lead that is effectively the safety car?
And I'd look for him to be keeping the pack bunched until he waits for my signal, which will be me retiring, and then once he bolts, he cannot then bunch the pack back up. He's got to bolt and go and get away from the pack.
I mean, that's the thing, when the co-commentator does retire, it is up to the leader then, whatever point they want to actually go. But as James said, they can't then go and slam the anchors on because it will cause carnage behind them. And for all of the drivers, as I mentioned, they can't overtake until they get to the safety car line, which is at the pit entry. So if Hulkenberg retires in Sector 1, for example, when the cars are in Sector 1 of the second lap. If they all start going, then it's going to be absolute carnage. But we'll see how the guys get on. Most of them should know what they're doing by now. I mean, it's the 19th race of the season, and there have been a couple of safety car restarts this season. And I tell you what, I thought for a moment then that Casely was having a few connection problems again. I don't know if he has or not, but we will get out of the way and we shall let the drivers pull away. But James, obviously you'll need to stay on track for the moment. I'm going to wait as well, because what I don't want to happen is for my car to go barreling up around the first few corners and ram everybody off. So I'll let them get away a little bit. Now for you, James, all you need to do is just trickle around effectively. Let's have a look
just
here.
driven through mine, so
Casely has problems. He has been disconnected. So Front Row Racing GP then is effectively the leader of this race. That'll move everybody up a position. That's massively disappointing for Casely, but with a second with a restart going on and another disconnection, there's not a lot we can do about that. So Front Row Racing GP now effectively the leader, which means we should have Rickster in second place, and we do. Then we should have Hybrid Nuke in third place, and we do. RDB in fourth place, and we do. Acorn 95 in fifth place, and we do. Dave the Harp in sixth. Dave the Harp in sixth place, and he is not in that position yet. Drew is out of position. Dave the Harp has got a few places to make up. He's trying to do it, but the guys are getting very, very bunched up here in the middle of the pack. That's Acorn trying to let the cars through. Dave the Harp, come on mate, you're sat in ninth place at the moment. You need to go past these guys and get yourself up the order. Overtake them, Dave.
They're going that slow. I've even caught them up, and I'm not going fast at all.
Okay, RDB should be in fourth place. He is. Richie Davey is currently sat in fifth place, and he should be at the back of the grid. I mean, this is becoming an absolute joke, guys. What are you doing is all I can say. Richie Davey should be at the back of the grid, and Acorn 95 is in the wrong position. No, looks Acorn like 95's in the right position. Sorry, Dave the Harp is now in he's effectively in position, but because Richie Davey is up in fourth place at the moment, the whole field is out of position. So Richie Davey needs to pull over, let everybody past him, and get out of the way, really. So after Dave the Harp, we should have Drew, and we have got Drew. Then we should have Andy Russell. We have got Andy Russell. Then we should have Millstar, which we have. Then Adam 4600, which we have. Charlie, which we have. Then Hindle, which we have. But then we should have Richie Davey at the back of the grid, who is not. He's still running in fourth place at the moment, and he needs to get out of the way. He's now pulling over by the looks of it. All of the drivers now need to go past him, but Adam 4600 seems to have bolted through the whole of the field. Come on guys, sort yourselves out. It's not that difficult. Okay, it's a little tricky when someone gets disconnected and all of a sudden you've all got to move up a position, but it should not be that hard to really work out. So Richie Davey is now at the back of the field, as he's leading at the moment. And Adam 4600 is way out of position. He now needs to drop to the back of the field. I have absolutely no idea what he's doing. His car has got epic lag as well. I mean, he's now running in second place, and he should be in 10th. Right, James, do not retire yet, because this is getting a little bit silly. Adam 4600, you need to pull over and get to near the back of the grid, because you're leading a race that has not been given the green light to go ahead, and now his lag is having an awful effect. He's actually just caused Front Row Racing GP to lose his front wing. Right, I'm going to call a safety car restart, and apologies folks, but I'm going to be giving the drivers an absolute ear bashing at the moment, because the way they're dealing with this safety car restart is absolutely ridiculous. Absolutely ridiculous. For a 19 race season, these drivers that should know better are just Yeah, making fools of themselves.
Just to put it in perspective, I'm just rolling round at the back, just watching them with a decent gap, and I've just set the fastest lap of the race.
Yeah. Right, okay, apologies viewers, there's not a lot we can do about how the drivers behave themselves on the track. So now we're in a situation where we're all going to have to restart our games, restart our broadcast and all that kind of thing. So bear with us a few moments and we'll come back on live in a few moments' time.